Hey, bear with me here. I promise there's a game. Okay, is it showing up yet? Why is it not showing up? Hello? No, that's definitely right. It's gotta be, like, right there. Okay. No, that's the overlay. Okay, okay, I had it backwards. Alright, alright. So it's irrelevant where that is, and you have to go up here. Look at no. Why is it not working? Oh, that's why. Okay, I had the wrong one. There we go. Perfect! Ah! Okay. Wow, look at that optimization.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427.
Oh, there's actually text there.
Every month,
that's nuts.
of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Okay.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so we're already seeing the new content in the form of, oh, and it still makes the keyboard sounds. We're already seeing the new content in the form of the narrator's dialogue, so that's cool. This is weird. It feels different without anything actually being different. Okay, so that's a lot.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
This is surreal. I'm like waiting to get jump scared by the next thing. 420 XD.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Okay, we're at the two doors.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors. He entered the door on his left.
He entered the door on his left. Let's go with the cooperating for now, because that's the most basic thing you can do. New content, Ermagerd. Yes, indeed, new content. The game definitely looks visually overhauled.
There was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
So this all looks relatively the same. Okay. Nothing here has visually changed. What I was expecting is like something... There's the broom closet. We can do the broom closet
Stanley
ending.
stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Still can't jump.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
So this is this is the same original broom closet ending from the original.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Still makes the little keyboard noises
Are you
when you
really
interact.
still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Can I even open the door? Yeah, okay, I can.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Oh my god, Kevin Brighting. Oh, you can crouch now. That's new. You were never able to crouch.
Really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
That's got to be something. There's got to be some kind of thing to do with the
I've
crouching.
come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right. When you've done that, just step out into
Wow,
the
that's
hallway.
weird. That subtitle was wrong. It said comedy and not commentary.
It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
And here's the punchline for this.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Okay. So that's basically the same. So there's no sprinting.
Coming to the staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
There's no sprinting, but there is crouching. Which I'm curious, I'm interested because they're not implementing the content in a way I would expect, which is like making the doors new doors you can go through. Oh, this is already open. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say that's a little first. This usually isn't able to be opened. It's weird. I mean, it is, but under more specific circumstances. Huh. Okay. That's strange that that's just a normal door now. Can't open that either.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to enter the correct code by sheer luck.
Okay, that was not the case
before. Newly
before.
Opened passageway.
That was definitely not the case before, where it closes those shutters. That's crazy. Creepy, too. Is there anything here? Oh. There is! What the heck? Where am I at? I can't see. Oh. That's weird that there's just a thing back there, like a little alcove. The loading times are a lot quicker.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay, is that different? It feels like this is different. Feels like the path is a little
Stanley
longer
walked straight
there.
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay, we're still going with the cooperation ending so far. I want to see what's different on each path, you know?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Okay. So far, everything seems about the same as one would expect. Cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life,
Whoosh.
their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many
that's
individuals
creepy.
reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Where's 427? That's me right there. That one right there, 427. And it does show my office. Wow, that's crazy. So the pictures are different. It's like, I wonder if they did any memes for like 420 or something. Hold on, 420. 420 doesn't look like a funny haha. What about 6'9"? Fired. 6'9". Let's see if 6'9" has a funny number. No, not funny number. Okay. Elevator.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay, so it's all ringing true to life for the most part. And then this is the last choice you make that determines whether or not you get one ending or the other, so...
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Okay, so this is our freedom ending. And it looks pretty much the same as the original. I mean, there's obviously texture upgrades. But...
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game, get your first achievement. I got 2 achievements there. Okay. Right, so that's the first ending? Wow, that was weird.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
So the next and most obvious choice is to,
he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard
one.
Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Oh, they changed the font.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
Well, some of that was obviously re-recorded audio, so that's new. See how long it goes on for. It might just loop infinitely, I'm not sure. I don't recall directly how the ending played out. This is weird. I don't remember if it ends or not. I don't think it does, but I just want to listen and see if there's something at the end of this. Okay. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. You can't jump. Oh, right. Yeah, okay, so that comes from pressing the space bar, because it just tells you that you can't jump. Let's see what the other one says.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
There we go.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Okay. That's all pretty much as to be expected. So let's see what he does when you are defiant.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Probably more choices along that way when you're defiant, and you do not go with the flow.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
It's brighter.
Truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
The first open door on his left. Is there anything different here? I don't want to do that just yet. Let's go through here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
These rooms are a lot brighter than they were in the other game. The light maps have been changed.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
So they're not implementing the new choices in the way that you would expect, which is like adding new doors or whatever.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I don't think so. I'm gonna go through the blue door. My favorite color is blue, my guy.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, I'm gonna walk through the blue one.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Oh, so this still looks the same as Source.
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Office space ceiling light. Amazing. What does that say? Office space alternate iteration. And the door shuts behind you, so you can't go through it. Wall. Good.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that speaks to you. If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so let's keep this party train rolling. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
I feel like that was new dialogue to the party train thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Good old Neo. A dead rat. Okay, so that's all still the same. Compete against others to improve your Stanley Parable career. Okay, this is all still pretty much the same from what you would expect from the other one.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right.
Oh, I forgot that the ratings changed the ending.
It's a very
or wait, no, it
meaningful
doesn't.
game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Okay, we're not gonna do that, but... Okay, it still does the same thing.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
Now we get to see whether they kept Minecraft.
Seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Because before it was Minecraft, so... Oh, it's not Minecraft.
Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
They went with Firewatch.
It seems to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man, spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be.
Firewatch is the Firewatch.
Experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley, and it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
They couldn't renew the license for Minecraft because Microsoft bought it. So we got Firewatch. That's amazing. Holy shit. How much is there to this? Because the original one was like very limited. In Minecraft you couldn't. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, yeah, this is completely new. Oh boy.
Oh no, it can't be.
We won't get far, I'm sure.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Oh.
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You really wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Oh, this is okay.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
So this is new too. Because before it was Minecraft and Portal.
What do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must.
Oh
okay,
my
Stanley,
gosh.
here's the ball. Have fun.
Amazing. This is the best thing to ever happen. I can sprint. Heck yeah. Yeah, boy.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought, and I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience.
Oh, this is amazing.
Here comes another ball. Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
Oh, Lord. What is happening? Oh, they got the rights to this and Firewatch.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having
Yes,
fun?
I am.
Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's
No.
right. Your little fun comes to an end. Hold
Oh.
on. What are you doing?
I did not realize that was possible.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back. You still have so much...
Okay, well that's interesting. I was not expecting that to be the case. I really was not expecting that to be the case, for this to happen. Okay, so I wonder if something different would have happened if I had waited for him to finish that dialogue. Okay, so this is the original map from, like, the beta version of this. So you come in here and you press around and then you go to leave and then it ends. Yeah.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
And then we go back to the office.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
So I want to see what would happen if I did that same ending, but I didn't interrupt him, because I did. Oh. Well, that's kind of literal.
New content? What does that mean? New content.
Are you kidding? Are you serious? I didn't think it was gonna be a literal door that said new content. Okay. Oh my god, what's happening?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
There's literally a door that said new content.
Step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
I didn't think it was.
Sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
This has gotta be bait, right? This is a gag. I didn't think it was gonna be a literal door.
So far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Does the elevator go up? No.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
I wasn't expecting a literal door that said new content.
Impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Okay. Oh no.
All right.
Jump
All right, let's
circle.
see. It's the jump circle.
I can jump! Amazing. Amazing, you can jump in a very singular location. Oh, I ran out of jumps.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
If there isn't, that would be completely worth it.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes, I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Okay. What is happening, dude? Oh no, that's it!
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Sure. I mean, I don't have a choice. There's never been a choice when the narrator's talking. Ah, so it's a new content ending. I see. So this is its own branching path. All right. That's pretty weird that it only comes up in specific.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
So this is where the crouch feature comes in. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the narrator on this one, but I'm sure you could go that way, and that's another ending. This is amazing. I'm having such a good time.
You remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Oh no. What is this?
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Oh my god.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Is that... No, that's a 3D model. I thought it was a texture, don't forget. I actually don't remember because I didn't play this game until like 2015, so I wasn't there for the release of it, but I appreciate the sentiment. Audience Award. The British Academy of Film and Television awarded to something Straley? Stanley Parable. Oh, for The Last of Us, and he just put tape over it? He just put tape over The Last of Us award. That's great. Oh, boy. Good old times. Look at that. Narrator's got a memory zone. Is that his first dollar? The CD release, everything like that. Wow. The Stanley Parable dedication. Impossible. Don't go outside. Game innovation? Are those like legit awards? I have no idea. They might be. New video game releasing today. Creators surprisingly down to earth. Rutgers goes from scandal to new crisis. Colleges show uneven effort to enroll poor. Coats hinder new tack to achievement diversity? Achieve diversity. Late edition? Okay. What is the date on this? Is there a date? Oh, not... Wait, no. At 2013, New York. Yeah, so this is 2013. That's a lot of attention to detail that they would put something like that. Feels tough choices. Okay. This is kinda nice.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Oh, Kevin, it's okay. Don't cry, Kevin. What is that? Can I go this way? No? Memory zone maintenance. That seems weird that they would have that in your direct line of sight without also making it a path you can go down. The original remake. Off on all the buttons. Person of the year, Stanley. Okay, where are we getting at? Oh, the two doors. Boss's office. All the pictures from the original. The end is never the end. Memories, memories.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
This is kind of weird. I feel like I'm being scolded here, man. The serious room. I can't get through there. Is that where I'm supposed to go, or? There's boxes in the way, my man. Literally anything. People play games because of what they can do inside of them. Now, I'm clearly supposed to go through here, but there's a box fucking away. So I go back this way?
These were simpler times,
Ah,
Stanley.
there it is. Okay.
But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
Oh
Surely
no.
these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Steam reviews? Oh no. Uh-oh.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a
There's a
handful of
recommended
gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Well, I thought that was gonna crush me for a second. There's a positive one right there. Why don't you just read that one? Negative reviews happen all the time, man. I get negative reviews. You gotta be positive, Kevin. Couple more negative, not recommended.
Okay, let's see what this one says.
Oh.
While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
This is surreal. Are you gonna walk into the water now? Oh no, another not recommended review.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt.
Oh no.
What if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record? Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Oh no, not a skip button. Kevin, no.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards. The deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years. Until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all...
Okay.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise, or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are or were or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made in fact make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once, that you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay,
they really want you to push that button, I think.
But now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich.
This is like waving a middle finger at that interview, at that review.
See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of
Oh
one or the
no,
other,
this is where
in
it
which
starts
case
looping.
The word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
Okay,
Treatise,
I think we get the gag. They want me to push the button again.
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over.
The rambling, bro. This is the rambling ending. Whoa!
Rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time. The additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media ever made. It is perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future.
They really want me to push that button, man.
That's a review. It's perfect. It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to
there it is. He has to read it
simply
again.
Too wonderful. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last
Oh no,
one,
the door's gone.
I want to say maybe 30, 45
The
minutes.
door's gone.
It's not unendurable by any means.
Oh no.
There's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated.
Oh
and
no.
we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here?
Yeah, I was gonna say the door's gone.
Go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all.
I don't think so.
I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
And then I guess it's just an eternity of waiting until you eventually do press the skip button, or waiting an inordinate amount of time and then eventually he comes back, which
Stanley,
I'm not going to do that.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking.
Because it's the only path ahead.
I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening.
It's
Only
been
I
12
my
hours.
tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't.
Looping and
Stanley,
looping.
you're back.
Oh no,
You're
it's
back.
dark.
Oh my
All the
goodness.
lights went out.
I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
Uh-oh.
Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here.
I don't
all that
like this
time,
darkness.
Just sitting here, not a single person to speak with.
For 2
And you'd
weeks?
think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along?
Oh,
Perhaps.
that's creepy,
Yes.
dude.
Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now,
This is a
I am alive.
what
I am truly and
wacky
deeply
ending,
here.
bro.
I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
Oh, that's creepy. There's a camera, I think. Yeah, there's a camera. So is he just gonna be infinitely quiet now, or? Oh no, it's completely dark. I can't see.
Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year.
Oh,
Have you ever
no.
sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities.
A
I felt
year.
nothing at all but
Oh.
regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich, well.
Oh, the clock stopped. It doesn't work anymore. The plant died. Oh,
I could do nothing but wallow in it for
Oh,
what felt like an
this is so
eternity,
scary.
For what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then, this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid, as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Oh, is he gone again? He's gone again, I think. How many years has it been?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point.
Oh,
it
he's
was meant
back.
to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world, as though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it.
Okay.
And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves, they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison, perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a
I don't know where this can go from here. This is creepy, dude. It's gotta been like decades now, right?
The end is never the end, is
oh
never
my
the
God.
End, is never the 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 end.
We're witnessing this man's psychotic break over thousands of years. This is the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Oh my God, this is horrifying. The rain is starting to seep through the building from how long we've been here. I can't take this, dude. This is psychological horror. Now the building's falling apart. It must have been like thousands of years actually now. He's just not talking anymore. Oh, sunlight's coming through the collapsed building. The water is... there's mold growing. There'll probably be plants growing next time. It has to have been... because it gets longer every time I press it. Now there's... yeah, so it's literally thousands of years at this point. So there's like plant life growing up through the floor. The ladder's fallen over. The narrator's just gone now. Oh, there's sand. Now we're underneath. We're under a pile of dirt. Oh, I don't like this. No, the button's starting to collapse. Oh, what happened? Oh my God! What happened? We're free, finally. We're out of the room. Over decades, thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of years, maybe millions. The entire surrounding environment is different, so it's gotta be millions of years at this point. Are we back in the office? Oh my goodness! That was creepy, the creepiest thing I've experienced in a long time.
Gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Wow.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The music is different. Are you for real?
notice my sign? Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Oh, I'm a little nervous, man. I hope you don't hate me after me making you wait millions of years to get through all of that. Come on, Kevin, we're still buddies, right?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version.
This is all still its own ending.
The Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh no.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
427.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean?
Taste
But
the
Stanley
sequel.
Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement.
New and
right
tasty.
there.
What
It's
did he say?
future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
What is happening? This is all still the same ending. This is nuts, bro. Photos off painting. Yeah. Okay. This just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky. Just the two of us. You and I. I think your mental break in the last iteration might have caused something there to snap, my guy. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Old and busted, new hotness. Good good Men in Black reference there. Love to see it. Boring sections of the chart. Cool red section of the chart. Two doors, they're back. More TSP, better TSP, paradigm shift, synergy, brick and mortar approach. Envelop client-centric marketing, the color red, leverage, holistic value. Pressing 8 does nothing. I was gonna say. Let's see, what is this? TSP2 logo idea. Okay. Last edit was 28 minutes ago. Click to add speaker notes. Oh, there's the laptop. What's that? 2 ferns. Good. Stanley Parable 2.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Return of Jafar, okay. Way to the show. Oh, okay. New features. Can I sit here? Can I have a seat? New content. A bust of new content. Hang on. There we go. Oh my goodness.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
merch. Please, no screenshots. Oh, this is a literal interpretation of what office decorations infinite hole, the Stanley Parable reassurance bucket?
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Oh my god.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort,
I've
even in the
equipped
face
a
of
bucket.
crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
I put this back? No, okay. Well, I've got the bucket. I have equipped the bucket, ladies and gentlemen. The bucket is now equipped.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Okay. There's something over here I saw that I want to get out of the way, but I'm gonna mute or like put it on pause because I don't know if it actually works.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Okay, hang on one second. I'm not sure if this is gonna go super meta or not, so. Okay.
Jim.
Alright, it just
Sleeping and
says
waking as
Jim.
Jim. Falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim. Seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim. And as Jim, watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button. Jim. Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again. Jim. Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Dang it. I can't be Jim anymore, okay. I figured that was gonna be the case, but with games like this, I can't anticipate how far they're gonna dig into your files and computer to actually be meta. So you just push it and it says Jim. The Jim ending. Okay.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable too. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Infinite hole.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Oh.
12th birthday step-niece it is.
So they picked the opposite. He picks the opposite of whatever one you want. I'm sure that makes me curious now to know what would happen if you pushed.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Oh, they changed all the pictures to include that. I was gonna say, this ending is so expansive that there's no way for me to, like, realistically in a reasonable time frame go back and do that.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
You spent all of your jumps. Okay. Free, new and easy achievement. It just works. Okay. This is amazing. Jump circle this map. Free achievement. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Merch. Settings. World Champion? Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. Office decorations. Epilogue. Collectibles. Infinite hole. And exit. Where's K? I want to see the infinite hole. Oh, it's here. Let's do the achievement first, because why not? Pull the lever, receive your achievement, no steps. I'm sure that's exactly what I'll have.
You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
I want the achievements. Oh man. Wait, why did it do that? Oh, because I'm near that object behind me that has interaction. Okie doke. Nice. So let's do collectibles next.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Collectibles. Can you find them? Can you find them?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Oh. Are there people? There's people clamoring for it. Oh, that's creepy, dude. Oh, there's my bucket. Okay, dude. I got 1 of 6.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Okay, so what else have we not experienced? Lower level. The epilogue? Why is the numbers so weird? Epilogue is... I'm at Infinite Hole Wizard. Okay, so it's to the right. Consistent quality with just the right amount of change. The baby is all grown. What is that? What is this? Epilogue. Oh.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no end to the game. So an epilogue is fundamentally nonsensical. Settings world champion. Oh, that sounds amazing. No, it's locked. I don't like it. Don't like it. Infinite hole. Oh, that's the bucket. Oh, and this is where we were before. Time like infinity, hole like infinity, space like infinity, distant space-time. Depth infinite, infinity, hole entrance, infinite hole chart. Science, infinite, ball. Depth, space. This keeps going. Oh.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. See? Isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
E to return to this person.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Oh, is it not truly infinite?
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity.
Oh, well, there's the
From
bottom,
perspective,
I
the
think.
infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
Oh, yep.
Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
I didn't say
Why
anything,
don't we just
bro?
put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my idea. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of...
Oh, well, that was a lot shorter, yeah.
Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where...
It is even shorter.
Okay, yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to... How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Oh. It doesn't
Is
work.
the, teleport button not working?
Yeah.
Sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose...
I'm stuck in a...
I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
I'm back. Why did you wait until it was a foot deep? A foot deep to trap me in here for what? Oh. You waited until it was a foot deep to trap me in here. What is happening? Oh, it's getting deeper. No! No! Help me, narrator! Kevin, please. Every pause button is a Roman numeral too. Nice. No! Oh my god! Wow! What is happening? Stanley in HD. I can't move. What am I looking at? Change your perception? Oh. The music alters how you feel about it, I guess.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley. Because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole?
Why are you back?
From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
But why? But why? I don't understand. I was having a fun time with changing myself, my perception, my reality, and my perspective. Oh, is that it? That's the end? Oh, hey, we're back here.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
What? Where is there to go from here if not... I don't understand. Exit E. Oh. Okay, so this way. Right, that was... I don't understand. That was so weird. They're treating this like its own game. I don't understand what's happening. I still have the bucket, too. I push these again? No, this is... Yeah, it's all...
You've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
But I want you to pick this one. Can I have that? I want that. Weird. This is weird. It's like the game, this ending has not finished yet. It's still treating itself like its own ending. Maybe if I go back to the hole, it'll do the... something else? Oh, the door's shut. Okay, so this is going somewhere. This is truly going somewhere. I'm just not sure where it's going. I'm like confused. Can I try that now? Again? Still have the bucket. Still can't get that achievement. There's no way out the front exit, though. So I'm confused as to where I'm supposed to go and proceed forward. Re-achievement, mostly infinite hole collectibles. I don't know where I'm going from here. I don't know. I don't understand. The door leads out there. Exit. There it is. Okay, I found it. It wasn't the main exit. There's an actual proper exit.
Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
This is definitely a surreal experience. I'll see. Screenshots.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
I do.
Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Gasp.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Oh, it's even worse.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my...
Add on to it, yeah. Like with Ultra Deluxe.
With respect, with care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could.
This is like a... This is like an out-of-character, like, monologue from the developers. How they came up with it.
Conviction. This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh, God. Oh, my God, they weren't kidding. They weren't kidding? Oh, my God. Main volume. VSync, borderless resolution. Anti-aliasing. They weren't kidding. That's nuts. I mean, there's no horrible sound thing. Field of view? What is happening? Hold left and right mouse buttons to walk. That's nuts. Okay, begin.
This is a... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Happy 12th birthday, stepniece. This is surreal. I still can't get over it. It's like endlessly surreal. That door is open. There's a barrier there that won't let me go through. That game's ending was still different because they couldn't
Stanley went around
use
touching
Minecraft.
every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
Bucket? What bucket? Oh, that!
Stanley picked up the bucket.
I didn't even see that! I didn't even notice that there was a bucket. Okay, so the sign is gone. So this is kind of a reset.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I'm gonna enter.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
The bucket is guiding my choices.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
How insightful indeed. What a bucket. What a bucket, my man. Does he have any extraneous dialogue?
The
Yeah, he
bucket
does.
was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired. Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home, here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home. Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
So the bucket guides all choices now. The bucket is the central most main character. I wonder, I imagine that's a signal for the termination of the dialogue, yeah. Sure. Wait, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
That's nuts. Wait, let's do the adventure line
And so they
ending
took
with
them
the bucket.
detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
All endings changed to appreciate to have a bucket included in them.
Oh, good Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this
Oh,
place
no.
eventually.
Oh no.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley.
The baby,
We've come
his
together
wife.
here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Okay. Can I go in the broom? I can go in the broom closet. This game is messing with me, man. What the heck? A bucket with broom closet. The computer, the pencil sharpener, the baby. You go back up? No? Okay, so we're gonna follow the adventure line with the bucket.
Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh, there's the music! Oh. Da-dum, da-dum, da-da-da-dum, da-dum,
Now
da.
this is what the Stanley Parable is all about.
Where's the fern?
Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Not the bucket! Please let me keep the bucket. I love the bucket, man. I need me the bucket. Where are we at? Oh no!
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why
No.
I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
No.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
I can't destroy
Can
the
you guess
bucket.
what the bucket destroyer does?
I imagine
Surely you
it
don't need me to
destroys
spell it out
bucket.
for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait.
I'm not giving you the
I can hear
bucket.
saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the bucket destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of bucket destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the bucket destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the bucket destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Oh, we're dead. Oh no, there's the bucket destroyer.
Bucket destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Oh my god. Not the bucket destroyer. I didn't want either of them to die. I'm attached to both characters. It's like picking between Batman and the Joker. No, my bucket! You took it, you bastard!
All of his co-workers
You
were
bastard.
gone.
Oh wait,
What
maybe
could
I
it
can
mean?
pick it up here.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply... Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Oh no, there's no two doors. Something has changed. Oh my goodness. Oh, is this just one of those random things where it adds a bunch of...
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket.
So
call
this
to
is just
him,
the bucket
telling him that
endings?
the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
This
And
is...
here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
So this is all the endings with a bucket featuring as the character?
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him.
I wanna
and
see where
he
this goes.
unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I want to see where obeying the bucket goes.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Let's see where this goes. Telephone. Nice.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home where we can go about life together.
Is this gonna be the same ending but with a bucket instead of the mannequin?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
What is happening? Oh, there's the bucket. It's me, your bucket. Press C to take me to work. Oh no.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Well, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. I've fallen into this trap.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Ignore anyone except for me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold,
It's weird
empty
seeing
bucket, this sort of shiny
the place
bucket.
at night.
Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Oh, that's disabled. Yeah.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Relive the same day with me over
Oh
and
my
over.
God.
Oh,
what am I
that's
saying?
creepy.
Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
To go home, to work, to home, to work, to home. Okay.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket.
Ah!
What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Oh my
Stanley,
god.
Give me the bucket.
No.
Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley.
Stay
I need
away.
it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Stay away. Oh, did you kill the narrator to protect me? Go back to work, Stanley. What is happening? I can't with this. The
How
bucket.
wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along.
Partition
I got
Corp.
what I wanted.
Okay, that's normal, different dialogue.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
The bucket is just like a way to get to differently charged endings.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
So let's
He
see
was
the
firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him.
unplug
and he
the phone
unthinkingly
ending with
did
the
whatever
bucket.
the bucket asked.
Unthinkingly did whatever the
In
bucket
here.
Said the bucket.
Go into
Oh,
this
there's a
dark room
collectible
over
there.
here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
There's still a collectible there. I wonder how you get to that. Or if it's even possible. That might just be a visual Easter egg harkening back to the other thing. There's a collectible there. You can collect 6 of them. That's nuts. I just thought that was a throwaway gag. That's an actual thing. You can get collectibles. Oh, I walked past
Now
it.
pick up the phone.
Screw you.
Oh, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it, but there isn't exactly an instructional video
Oh, God.
in comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
Okay, man.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time.
Okay.
With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny."
Okay.
Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny. Okay.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause.
What is
This our
happening?
children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
What?
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the 2 doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Right. So we're gonna... Can I plug the phone back in, please? So we're gonna go all the way back, and you're gonna repeat all your lines, just with a slightly different tonage.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail
The collectible's gone. What the heck?
Stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
We're going back the way from whence we came, so that he can repeat the bucket spiel again. The bucket is my new favorite character.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Oh no. Oh, it just goes directly to the phone.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
I wonder if it'll be even closer. It is, and there's no darkness.
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
Oh no, that's creepy. I don't like
Here we
that.
go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. What?
Oh, it's
We're back
already
at the phone
unplugged.
already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
I suppose this is a signal that I'm supposed to go left now.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Oh no.
You love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
This game is a trip, let me tell you. I can't believe
Stanley
that the...
had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
This is definitely
Stanley
surreal.
clasped the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that
So there's just an entire branch of endings all constructed with a bucket added to
Had the
added
bucket
to
turned
it.
out to be correct? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
So if you go to the adventure line, that
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
there is literally a... Oh, that's how you get the collectible. Oh my goodness, I found it.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I promise that I will, Kevin. I promise. This doesn't... That doesn't make any physical sense, but okay. That defies the laws of nature. Oh, that was creepy. I don't like that. I'm in another world. This is the figurine ending? The bucket figurine ending? Is that where we're at? Ooh, narrator.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
What is... I don't understand. I really don't get it.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Figurine Finders Committee meeting today? That's a subtle detail. Give me that
Stanley
bucket.
picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Are there other... I'm sure there's other Did that say where the meeting was? I think it just said meeting today. Maybe to be able to find it. Oh, in the meeting room. Okay. It's interesting. So I gotta go left.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Aha! Oh my god! What is happening? Warehouse access plan. Produce one plank to allow ease of access past fence. Construct a bridge to allow collection of shiny float. Retrieve Chris's remains from the warehouse floor. Construct new structurally sound bridge. We need more plans. What is happening, bro? This is so twisted. Inside of a sequel exhibit. Large room, lots of boxes. Stairs, something to do with stairs. Somewhere both red and blue, nearby a fireplace. A private but... Oh my god. Okay, that actually scared me. I thought that was... something happened in real life. Frightened me. Okay. Lol, looks like 427 or 927. A private but smelly place for an important person. Or the executive bathroom. This is saying all of the locations. There will be a reward for finding them all. Stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. I want to go home. There will be cleaning of this wall required. Who are you? BBBB or 666 lol. So there's people obsessed with this puppet, or this statue. Please do not leave the office before reporting back on any new findings. Teamwork and communication are of great importance during this unprecedented time of investigation. Help, I'm a post-it. Maybe we are the collectibles. To whom it may concern, I managed to pick up sounds unusual to our regular office ambiances or local audio sources using an array of cardioid microphones, also known as directional mic, a microphone that picks up sound from a particular area. Analysis of the recordings allowed me to triangulate the source of the strange noise. Data shows that in all likelihood it's coming from a dark area behind a very warm place. I've also picked up reverberance off the porcelain sofa. Wouldn't you like to know? Findings? Difficulty? Shut the frick up. Weird spinning figurines. What do they want? Interns? Why floating magic magnets? How many are there? 15, 6. Well, it's 6. I wouldn't put it past this game to have more than 6, though. Trust the completionist instinct. Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, the appointment. Bedroom. Good luck. Okay. Is there anything in the broom closet?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, so that would explain why this was openable. There it
Another
is.
miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? What about
Figlies?
Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Bigly. Okay, so that was not there before. I've seemed to have activated the, I seem to have activated the Stanley figurine ending.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh, hey, another.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
So that explains why that was there before. So this is like a combination of two different endings, because we're getting Stanley figurines and the bucket.
Towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
I'm glad the bucket is here for me, Kevin.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
I wonder if the bucket is gonna allow me to do the bomb ending and escape.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
This is surreal. I can't get over it. How they would go off on a tangent just with buckets.
The bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Me and the bucket are gonna seize power, and we're gonna try to get the,
Was the bucket under the mind
ending.
control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
I'm glad that this bucket is with me.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
I'm gonna be the bad guy in this, I bet.
But at the last second,
Oh no, the bucket,
pressed
dude.
the button to turn on the controls.
The bucket's the
Stanley
bad guy.
gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the
Oh
enormous
no!
screen.
Oh!
Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
What?
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions.
Silly
Had
bird.
known this all along. Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this
No.
place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Okay. So the red room is next, I think, for the
good old
Stanley
bucket.
figurines.
Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure.
I never
together.
would have imagined in receiving this game that the centralmost Deuteragonist would be a metal
Stanley
bucket.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest, and this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting
No.
room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Except for this, which is distinctly not what the bucket asked me to do.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless... What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
But Alright. If you insist, Kevin. Oh god, a pocket depot.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
We'll try correctly identifying buckets.
Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Okay. It appears to be a bucket.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What is happening?
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Correct.
I was gonna say,
this
yeah.
is a bucket.
I was gonna say, I imagine it would be a fake out on the third one. Comedy comes in threes.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yes, it is.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next.
They still got me with the fake out. But this one will
Is
be a
this a
bucket,
bucket?
right? No.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
How is that a bucket? Explain! I demand answers on how that's a bucket!
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
I don't know what to say anymore.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
How? Explain! I demand that you explain.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
No?
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence, and yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry, but I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
No! No, don't erase the buckets! No, that's my only way to get new content.
Happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear?
Everything was a bucket.
Was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Everything is a bucket. Are you serious? Everything is a bucket.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfect. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest, and this was not the correct way to the
I want to
meeting
see
room.
if it changes when you
Stanley had
answer
felt
the
bucket
questions
calling to him,
correctly.
telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The car...
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Okay, so that's a throwaway ending, I
All
guess.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh, I wonder, can
Stanley
I...
decided to
Let
go
me
to
see
the
if I can
meeting
get the
room.
bucket
A
and then
bucket,
go back
a
to
strong
the...
bucket, a humble bucket,
I
a
can.
committed bucket. A bucket. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
The bucket ending...
Yes.
The bucket clip
Whispered
ending.
the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback
So that's the
for
second
secret
time we've
amulet I
seen
stole
that.
from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
This is like the biggest mind fuck that I've ever played,
All of his
dude.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Is the bucket back?
Stanley
No, it
decided to
is.
go to the meeting room. The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So much of this game centers around bucket. Stairs and somewhere both red and blue. But that's the only thing that could be is the no buckets area. Stairs. So
Coming to a
probably
staircase,
here.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Ah, there it is.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anmarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can.
Somewhere both red and blue. Well, I want to do this first. I'm considering where this
But
goes.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good
Oh, the
would come
bucket's
from this.
gone.
Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me!
The bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next.
Oh, the buckets.
None of them were his. None of them
No!
were his special bucket.
My bucket!
Stanley, find me!
The bucket!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was
Come
the
back
only
to
way
me,
truly
bucket!
restore his sanity. And then
There's the
suddenly
spilled up.
he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful.
Oh no, I'm gonna have
Stanley
a
doubled
bucket
over
burst
in
out of
agony
me.
and blacked out.
And yeah, the bucket's gonna burst out of me like something from Alien. No.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Uh-oh.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Everybody has
On
a
this
bucket.
particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way
All
to
right.
work.
Okay, dude. I think we're losing the thread with this bucket thing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Okay.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
So somewhere red
The bucket
and
made
somewhere...
Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt
Somewhere
the
red
bucket
and blue.
calling to him,
The only
telling
two
him
places that
the
are red or
only
blue
point
is
was
the
simply
game's
place to
ending
be.
and
And
the
here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct.
the Zending.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Which,
Stanley took the
those
door on
two
his
are
left
only
to go
accessible
back
through
to the
that
meeting
door
room.
that says no buckets.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
So I'm curious then how I get to that, because this door says no buckets and he's gonna shut it.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what...
Oh,
is a
maybe I have to
bucket
get
and
all
what
of the
isn't a
answers
bucket?
right and
I
he'll put
suppose
me
that would
back.
explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Okay, so
Now then,
I think I have
I'm
to get
going
all these
run you
right.
through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
So it was
Am I
no,
right?
no,
This
yes.
should tell us everything we'll
And I'm
ever
not
need
sure
to
what
know
after
about
that.
what is
The
or
tractor is not a
bucket.
bucket,
Okay, let's
obviously.
begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
Okay, dude. The next one is also a tractor, but it's a bucket.
Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
After this, I don't know what...
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago, I could answer these questions with confidence.
So this doesn't have a
Now
branching
I'm somewhat
path.
adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with.
But how do I get somewhere red and somewhere blue?
Tear our relationship apart. I can't have that.
I have to get the...
But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
I have to get the Stanley!
Here we
The
go.
Stanley figurine! I gotta...
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear?
Oh, maybe I
Wait,
can't take the bucket
was
with me.
everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what. I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Okay, so maybe I have to leave the bucket behind? Because having the bucket inherently changes that
All of
ending,
his
so you
co-workers
can't
were gone.
use it.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
That
simply missed
caught
a
me
memo.
off guard. It was backwards. So we'll leave the bucket this time and see if that does it.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you.
So that
Show you
sign
something
is still
beautiful.
there.
Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. we're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, right. I wanted to... Oh, let's go through the blue door. I want to do the
Perhaps you
game's ending
misunderstood.
again and see
Stanley
if it
walked
changes
through
from
the
not
red
falling into that
door.
void.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stan. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version, and to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Okay, the scoreboard, and then we need... I just want to get through to the games
Now,
to see if
would you
this
say
changes.
that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
It
So
occurs
why
to
don't
me
you
that there's
give it 4
probably
hours of
somebody
play
who's
to make
been
sure it's
trying to
effective?
get the art
Be sure to
ending
keep
for
notes
2
on your
hours now.
experience.
3 now, since I started playing.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
I still can't get over that it's Firewatch.
Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our
Firewatch
backstory?
is the
What is our
Firewatch.
motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it
Oh,
seems
the
as if
tower's
you-
over there too.
Come,
That's
let's
cool.
venture outward and see what else is out there.
Firewatch was unironically a very good narrative game, so seeing it here is kind of surreal.
Oh no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You really wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing. Wonderful. See, this is
Rocket
exactly
League
what I had
and
in mind.
Firewatch.
Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Give me a car. I want vehicles. That was a joke in the original game. Give me a car.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought, and I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
More balls.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I am structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
So that just leads back to the original ending as well. Because you eventually will throw yourself into that pit, and yeah, I'm sure. I'm 100% sure that's what it is.
Hold on. What are you doing?
Okay. So you still get there inevitably.
Stanley, don't do
It's
that.
just-
I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back. You still have so much.
Couldn't use Portal either. Okay, so you go down here. Nothing. Do 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 do. Ba-ba-bow. Where's the two doors? I don't remember. Oh, here? Okay. So now I think the only endings we have left are the ones that are modified by the bucket.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it, down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Right. The only thing we have left, really, is the bucket freedom ending. But that might not even be possible.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines.
Wow.
Those figures.
That scared
I haven't
me.
stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness?
That actually
Yes, I
caught me
know
off
we're
guard.
supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Oh, it
I would
looped
love
all the way
nothing more
back.
than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
It looped all the way back. Wow. It's still going. That's nuts. So we went all the way back to the beginning. There's like, there's no endings, it's all one thing.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Where's this? Oh, it's an escape?
And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the warehouse. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Oh, here's the,
Let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Surely it must have been this one.
No. Behind the boss's office was the 4th place you found a Figanli, not the 3rd. Well, I guess perhaps I shouldn't be surprised. Memories like these are so precious and so cherished that they all just sort of blend together, don't they? You know what? If the boss's office feels like the 3rd place you found a collectible, then who am I to go making judgments?
Mind you, I'm not actually touching any of these.
Let's see, what came next?
Apple.
Oh, yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
No, I'm pretty sure it didn't. This is the first time I'm seeing the pink room, the apple room.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was under the stairs. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh no. Oh my god. Are you kidding? It recorded my gameplay. Oh no, it didn't. It's just pictures. Okay. Wow.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
I'm glad to hear that, Kevin. I'm glad you're having a good old time, bud. Ah, 2 doors.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figly and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
I can, but I don't want to.
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
Okay. That was a weird foyer into the... What?
No,
What the...
no, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Well, that's what I was saying. It seems weird to just end there. That would be like... wouldn't make any sense.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
You want more. Okay.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Oh my... Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I recall that video, yes. That was a very nice video, Kevin. Thank you.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
I don't remember it either, so don't feel bad.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
I'm glad the memory is enough to satisfy you, my man. Okay, so that is, it's broke. It's broke.
This was our second Figly. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too.
Oh wait,
the
yeah, it
past
was.
is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, so we're going all the way back. We're going all the way
it's the
back.
terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. more memories.
You're gonna get back to like the original Stanley Parable. It's gonna be like a thing about memories. Ah, yes.
The two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much.
Aww.
Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Actually
All of his
getting one more
co-workers were
run.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
One last
Stanley
run.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
One last run.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I'd never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it. Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Oh, property of
There.
Stanley.
Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
I wonder if this will continue. Property of Stanley.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Oh, it's
See,
a bucket.
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, "Ah, it's a bucket." There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Will I get a third sticker? Can we go for 3?
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So that changed. Everything outside sounds like it's on fire now. Oh! What? What? This is completely new. There's that music again. Oh, wait. We've experienced this before. He's waiting in the elevator with me, I guess. Getting bored now. How tall is this building we're in? Is it just an elevator that goes nowhere? I I guess it just goes nowhere. That's weird. Weird that that is the case. It just vibrates. Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Gotta have that bucket freedom ending as our final conclusion to the game. Because he said we're running through it one last time.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
There is a bucket escape ending, but...
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
Okay.
Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
Oh no.
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
Oh no.
The facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place, not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms, not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room, but at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out. All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
It looks to be, yes. Oh, the bucket still has the stickers on.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly
escape
to his
ending.
chest and entered the door on his left.
That's the last one, I think.
Still no one was here.
Entirely.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping in.
So now, if we can escape with the bucket. Well, this is the escape pod ending, mind you, not the actual escape ending. The escape ending is the other one past the boss zone. If we can get away with the bucket. So all the way back here, the escape pod ending door opens. $760. We ditched the narrator in the boss's office. Can I escape with the bucket? Oh, I can. Wow, look at this. There's actually gonna be a cinematic. Oh, my arms. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh. Wiping a tear from the bucket's eye. You're stroking the bucket. Are you letting the bucket escape without you? Oh no. This is truly the saddest ending. That was completely worth it. That was honestly the best ending.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go
No,
to the
it's
meeting
gone
room.
forever.
Perhaps he'd simply missed a memo.
The bucket's completely gone. It actually escaped. No, I can't get the other ending without the bucket. Dang it.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
I wonder
Feeling
if
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided
I'm gonna
to
do
go up
one
to his
more
boss's
ending.
office.
I'm gonna see.
Coming to a staircase,
I'm gonna see if doing
Stanley
it without
walked
the bucket
upstairs to
actually
his boss's
finishes the
office.
game.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Okay.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Alright, so I wonder if doing it without the bucket will give us an actual, like, proper conclusion to the game. Because he said, let's run through it one more time. I'm not sure if he meant with the bucket or not. We'll do the,
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
the bomb ending.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
The rest of the game I'll have to explore on my own, because
Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's
I think we've
coworkers,
covered
the
most
lives
of it.
so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place
Where freedom meant nothing.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star.
I'm sure
It's
nothing
your
will
story
actually
now.
change.
Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious.
I'm sure there's no way that
Time
you could
doesn't
actually
grow on
change the
trees.
ending, because that would defeat the entire
Oh,
purpose
dear
of
me,
the
what's
ending.
matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Active
Stanley,
button hint,
you're
pinkish
in for quite a
purple.
disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just
Green,
seconds ticking
green,
away to your death.
green
You're only
2?
still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
No!
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your
Kevin,
friend, or
no!
will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it cut. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever up.